Yes. Now what we watched is a beautiful clipping of Swamiji visiting the temple and in Madurai. And we all saw how Swamiji, along with the 292nd Guru Maha Sannidhanam, had visited the temple. Yes. Now, what we are learning about Kailasonara Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Pita. This has an unbroken lineage of gurus, the Guru Parampara, for last 4,000 plus years. Understand, this is a recorded history of 4,000 plus years. And this started, the Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Pita was established by Irayanar Sundareshwarar, who is an incarnation of Paramashiva himself. Paramashiva himself established this city of Madurai and the whole kingdom of Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Pita. And this was in 11,000 BCE. And in 11,000 BCE, Irayanar Sundareshwarar himself established this kingdom. And then Kapila Muni, who is also an incarnation of Paramashiva, he came when he is the reviver of Mahanirvani Akhada, for which Swamiji is the pontiff, and he also is one of the main organizers of all the Akhadas, and he revived this kingdom again around 11,000 BCE. And after that, in 3000 BCE, Devi Meenakshi, who is an incarnation of Para Shakti, Paramashiva Shakti, and she, actually Swamiji himself has revealed how in his previous incarnation, Swamiji had incarnated as Devi Meenakshi. And so Devi Meenakshi, she revived this Shamala Pita Sarvagnya Pitam, and this was after the Mahabharata war in 3000 BCE. And so starting from 11,000 BCE till now, this Guru Parampara has been unbroken, and Swamiji is a 293rd Guru Maha Sannidhanam, and this whole thing is a beautiful, grand, recorded history. Every single thing, whatever we are actually sharing now, is there as a detailed, recorded history available to us. Even now, we have access to the main documents, which has all this information, and it is this Guru Parampara. This is the Guru Parampara, and today Swamiji is the pontiff of this kingdom. Now let's learn a little bit about the history of this. See, Sanatana Hindu Dharma, the Hindu civilization, went through tests of infinite measures to stay alive in a rapidly changing world. There was, and what we're talking about is when the human settlement had started. When the human settlement had started, now what we are having as various civilizations that existed, archaeologists are finding evidences. With all these findings, we are able to very clearly see how the most ancient, from the very beginning, the civilization that started, that was thriving and that is still alive for the largest period and continuing to be alive and holding the whole humanity together is the Sanatana Dharma, Sanatana Hindu Dharma based civilization, Sanatana Hindu civilization. And in the beginning, so there was a lot of things that the whole world was rapidly changing. This was after the Ice Age, and that's when the human settlement had started. There was frequent flooding, there was volcanic eruptions, and they were happening and molding the earth and its inhabitants. One such, like Swamiji has actually revealed how 6 times, 5 times totally, the whole humanity, the entire planet Earth has been wiped off completely. You having a great deluge happening, like each time, every single being has been completely erased from planet Earth, like a complete disaster has happened. Life has been completely wiped off planet at least 5 times, and the 6th time is the time now we are all existing. So, in the previous 5 times, and this is now very recently, scientists have also come to this same conclusion: how not just humanity, but the whole planet Earth has gone through this great deluge 5 times previously. And now this is the 6th time that all of us are here now and experiencing the planet Earth. Life is there, thriving with the grace and blessings of Paramashiva. So one such great deluge happened at the dawn of the epoch we are living in now, which was the 5th time when the complete life, got destroyed on this planet. A great deluge had taken place. And this event has been clearly recorded in Hindu Puranas, not only as an early inundation, but as a cosmic deluge of otherworldly dimensions, which is what is known in Sanskrit as the word pralaya, and which happened around 11,275 BCE. To save humanity and the great enlightenment sciences, a grand cosmic intervention took place once again before the onset of the wild storm and deluge. How many of you have heard this term, Noah's Ark or Manu's ship? How many of you are familiar with this term? Can I request all of you to post in chat if you are familiar with this? Noah's Ark or Manu's ship, because now what we are learning, this history starts from there. Can I request all of you to post? Netandam ma, Vani Goyal ma, Indian Zan, ma Likika, ma Istak, ma Gokila Nityanandam. How many of you have heard about Noah's Ark or this Manu's ship? Definitely, if you've been listening to satsang, definitely you would have come across this. Great. Great. I see many of you posting. Wonderful. So now that Noah's Ark or that Manu's ship is there, right? It was when he actually, Mahavishnu, assumes the form of a beautiful, huge fish, Matsyavatara. This is what we all call as Matsyavatara. And this Matsyavatara, as a fish, he went, see, the Pralaya was about to happen. Pralaya means great deluge, where the whole planet Earth goes through a lot of destructions and dissolution. And it is not just a planet Earth based event, but it's a cosmic event. And where the life gets completely wiped out. And that's what I just mentioned. Like 5 times this has totally happened. And that 5th time, when this complete wipeout was happening, is when Mahavishnu assumed the form of fish, a huge fish, and he came and actually instructed to save humanity and all the great enlightenment scientists. He assumed this Matsyavatara, the fish incarnation, and he gave darshan to Vaivasvata Manu. Actually, that is why whenever we chant the Sankalpa mantra, you'll hear this term, Vaivasvata Manu. He was the one who was chosen for this epoch right now where we are all living in. This to save humanity, to save the living beings and the great enlightenment sciences. He was instructed and guided directly by Mahavishnu in the form of this huge fish to build a ship to safeguard life in all of its unique forms from being destroyed. How many of you are with me so far? Because this is a very, very, very important event. It is from here the history actually starts. That's what I mentioned, right? It's 11,000 plus years back. That's how old the history of this kingdom is. It was started and like how the whole civilization got established. So that's what we are going to be sharing. I request all of you to post how many of you are still with us so far. So Manu, Vaivaswata Manu, he was the one who was chosen, and Mahavishnu himself gave the darshan to him, and he, along with actually Mahavishnu, comes in that form of a huge fish, and he'll actually tell Vaivaswata Manu to collect each one, like every single life form, at least, like for example, all the plants, he would collect the seeds, and every living being to collect a sample of just one, like a set of living, like DNAs, and every being a few set of people, so that they can be saved and they can enter into this new epoch. So for that, Mahavishnu comes in this form as the Matsyavatara, and he comes and gives the darshan to Vaivaswata Manu. How many of you are understanding so far? So this Vaivaswata Manu, he, as per how Mahavishnu directs and guides him, he actually starts collecting all the living beings together. He builds a huge ship. Understand what now we are talking about having navy, we are talking about having ship, everything. But this existed eons back. Eons back, this had existed, and that's what precisely we're all learning about. So this Noah's Ark or Manushya, this actually you will find references to this in many historical books with different names, because this is the way how it unfolded. Are all of us clear? Okay, I do see many of you here, Nityanandam. We are going to be having the darshan soon. So I request all of you to kindly invite everyone that you know. Take a few minutes, invite all of them so that we can have everyone here and nobody misses out on today's darshan. Today we are going to be having a very powerful darshan of Irayanar Sundaresharar. So take a few minutes and quickly invite others, and then we are going to be continuing with this. I request all the participants here to quickly invite the people that are not yet here. So are all of us clear about how this Noah's Ark came? So this is like that, the very beginning of humanity that we all are today. So here is a picture that we all can see. This is Matsyavatara Mahavishnu guiding Manu and all other Saptarishis and various forms of living beings were all collected in one ship, and they were all taken to form the civilization that we all are today. So life in all its unique forms from being destroyed. So they were saved. And after the whole pralaya, the deluge got over, actually, if you had seen, there were some Hollywood movies also that had represented how the whole deluge would be. And even if you see in that, how they'll show literally a ship being the one that protects everyone, and how after the whole like the tsunami, the volcano, the earthquake, everything settles. Once the deluge settles, then they enter into starting a new civilization. And that's precisely what had actually happened. And so after the deluge, Vaivasvata Manu and all his divine companions deboarded the ship and they began to re-establish the civilization again. And this happened in the modern day region of Madurai or Kumarikandam. Understand Kumarikandam? Now there are many references coming about Kumarikandam, and this Kumarikandam region, Mahavishnu actually promised then that when this happens, a great ark or ship will be sent to him to protect the life on planet Earth. And like this, literally, this reference is clearly given in the scripture how Mahavishnu actually revealed this to Vaivasvata Manu. This is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, King, who can subdue your enemies? On the seventh day from today, the three worlds, Bhut, Bhuva, and Suva, will all merge into the water of inundation. And this is what actually Mahavishnu says. And that's how the whole civilization starts beginning. Everyone will be protected. And therefore he'll say, O king, please go and collect all types of herbs, seeds, and every living being and collect them all, load them all on a great ship. And then accompanied by the seven rishis and surrounded by all the kings of living entities, you shall get aboard that boat. And you're going to see how the whole civilization starts. So that's how this whole civilization began from that period onwards. And this was like how actually the whole pralaya, how it happened and how the whole thing got established is so beautifully recorded. If you had in Bhagavata Purana, you will find references to these. And as soon as Mahavishnu guided this, many years had passed in planet Earth. And literally the sea level started to raise, the clouds began pouring like never ever they have seen such a thing happening before. And while Vaivasvata Manu had already gathered the living creatures together, and a huge ark appeared before him, and they all boarded that ship. And that is how, and true to his promise, Mahavishnu himself came in the Matsya Avatara and assumed that humongous form of a divine fish. And actually, he pulled the all the living beings together. He pulled that boat, he pulled that ship and led them through safely. And they came here to Kumari Kandam. And the whole Tamil civilization, Tamil heritage, Sanatana Hindu Dharma started flourishing from here. And actually, Madurai is the cultural capital of Hinduism, where the Sanatana Hindu Dharma started flourishing. The whole culture, the Tamil civilization and heritage started flourishing from here. And at this primary stage, the founding members of this grand civilization, today we all are existing, this whole civilization started from them, where Bhagavan Sundareshwarar, Irayana Sundareshwarar, and the Sapta Rishis who had survived that great flood, they were the founding members. It was Irayana Sundareshwara Paramashiva, Bhagavan Paramashiva himself established this kingdom, the civilization of Madurai. The oldest known human DNA discovered thus far also traces back to this very region of Madurai. Understand? Even the latest scientific discoveries trace back to this particular civilization that had existed over 11,000 years back. And out of gratitude to the Matsyavatara, the great fish of Bhagavan Mahavishnu who saved them, the people of this primordial civilization raised their flag of a fish, having the fish symbol. How many of you have seen the Pandya kingdom's flag? the Pandyan flag actually has a fish symbol. And this is because it was that great fish, or the Matsyavatara of Mahavishnu, who had come and guided the whole civilization. And it was Mahavishnu who had protected everyone. So, because of which, the whole civilization decided to honor Mahavishnu and worship the flag along with the fish symbol. You'll see actually two fishes being there. That is the flag of the Pandya kingdom, which is one of the most ancient kingdoms to ever have existed in this planet. Vaivasvata Manu received the signs of enlightenment from Mahavishnu. In Mahavishnu's that same form as Matsyavatara, Mahavishnu revealed the signs of enlightenment directly to Vaivasvata Manu. And life on earth was to grow again from scratch, from point zero. With the seeds that Vaivasvata Manu had collected, agriculture began again. All the people followed the lifestyle that their leader, Manu, had dictated with the grace of Paramashiva. His lifestyle guidance and all that lifestyle practices that he had given directly under the guidance of Paramashiva was compiled in a rule book that came to be known as the Manuvadi Dharma Shastra, which forms the jurisprudence of Kailasa. This was the Manudharma Shastra, Manuvadi Dharma Shastras, which Vaivasvata Manu had given to the whole civilization at that time when the whole civilization began. And Vaivasvata Manu is referred to in many texts as Dravideshwara, the king of Dravidas, which goes to show that the civilization that he founded started in South India. And Manu is the first person who created the constitution of Vedic tradition. He is the person who declared the Vedic constitution, meaning the Smriti lifestyle. And this revelation was revealed by Swamiji in 11th of May 2007, where Swamiji was giving a satsang on Shiva Sutras. And people of this civilization were known as the people whom the great fish brought to land, who raised their flag with the symbol of fish. So for how many of you are following, can I request all of you to post in the chat if you all are following us so far? Please take a moment and quickly post in the chat if you're still with us. And at any point, in case you get any questions, you have any doubts, feel free to ask. Yes. So far all of us are clear how this whole history began. Great. So this is the way how our whole civilization had actually started itself. Understand now whatever we are all enjoying, whatever we are having in our life, and if the very life even existing on this planet, it was through this Leela only. This is how the whole civilization had started upon this planet. So this people and the whole civilization, this started expanding. And this was the same civilization which would be later ruled by the cosmic mother herself, the incarnation of Paramashiva Shakti, Devi Meenakshi. Actually, her name literally means Meenakshi. Archi means ruler. Meen means, in Tamil, Meen means fish. The ruler, Archi, the ruler of the people of fish, which is what is the Pandyan civilization. And the archaeological evidence found that the Pandyan dynasty, as the earliest human civilization, predates the Mesopotamian civilization as well as the Egyptian civilization by several thousand years. Following this grand preservation and revival of this civilization, during the crowning ceremonies, the rulers would take their oath on the Manudharma Shastra book that thereafter they would follow that as the law of the land and law of the cosmos. Understand? In the recordings of the whole Meenakshi Pattabhishek, the coronation ceremony of Devi Meenakshi, it very clearly records that she takes the oath on the Manuvadi Dharma Shastra, Manu's laws, and she declares that she will run the kingdom, run the world based on the Manudharma Shastra, the Dharma of Advaita, Dharma of non-duality or oneness, which is the foremost cosmic principle. And even now, she herself has come down as Swamiji. She is Swamiji has established the whole Kailasa with the Manuvadi Dharma Shastras only as Kailasa's jurisprudence. And oneness as the basic fundamental principle of existence in Kailasa. Now you all can see here, this was the fish flag that he was referring to. This is the flag of the Pandya kingdom. And you all can see it is having fish itself as a symbol because it was in honor of Mahavishnu, who came in that Matsya Avatara and saved the whole life and started this epoch, the sixth epoch that all of us are in now. There is a book called as the Irayanar Agappuru, which is one of the most influential and oldest Tamil texts on living enlightenment. And this text was written by Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva himself. Irayanar Agappurul is dated to be from the first Sangam period, which existed from 11,266 BCE to 6,826 BCE, multiple millennia before the happening of Devi Meenakshi. So thus, it is established how Paramashiva first established the civilization in Madurai as Bhagavan Sundareshwara, and many thousands of years later, Sundareshwara Paramashiva graced the kingdom once again as its king with Devi Meenakshi. How many of us are catching? See, first itself, when the civilization began, Paramashiva, in the form of Sundareshwara, Irayanar Sundareshwara Paramashiva, he started this kingdom, and thousands of years later, when Devi Meenakshi had happened, once again he came back and ruled over the kingdom along with Devi Meenakshi as a king. Understood? For all of us there till now? Great. So it is from here that later on, great kings modeled their own civilization and built vast empires. For example, the Ayodhya, where Sri Ramachandra Prabhu ruled, or Dwaraka, all these started much later after this kingdom was established. That's why even now we say how the Tamil civilization is one of the oldest living civilizations. Ikshvaku, son of Vaivasvata Manu, built Ayodhya, and Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself built the Dwaraka. And the birth of Devi Meenakshi is even more interesting. And once this whole Madurai kingdom was established, during the reign of Malayadwaja Pandyan, the people who ruled over this kingdom were called as Pandyas. And that civilization only, that kingdom, that lineage ruled over this kingdom. And during the reign of Malayadwaja Pandyan, which was around 3162 BCE, the Madurai kingdom faced the pressing challenge of securing a worthy successor to carry forward the legacy of the Pandyan. But unfortunately, till then, they did not have any heir to the throne. No, the King Malayadwaja Pandyan and his wife Kanchana Mata therefore decided to perform a Putra Kameshti Yajna. Putra Kameshti Yajna is actually a fire ritual which is performed and in prayer of a divine child. And they prayed to have a divine child, they prayed to the divine to have a child born. Listen, right now, where exactly the Kailasa Madurai just few meters away, like literally, it's like within the temple premises, few steps away from the temple premises, we have the Kailasa Madurai. Today, if you have seen the building, how Kailasa Madurai is, in that exact place, thousands of years back, that was a very place where this Putra Kameshti Yajna was done. This is very clearly recorded in the scriptures, and we even found the reference, the markings, and the drawings, which dates back to thousands of years back, where the Putra Kameshti Yajna happened. And in that Putra Kameshti Yajna, when they were doing, suddenly a beautiful, divine baby girl with a mysterious third breast appeared from the fire. And understand, Parashakti, Paramashiva Shakti, Devi herself, as a 3-year-old girl, came out of that fire with three breasts. She was unique. She had 3 breasts, and she was named as Tadadavi. She did not stay in the womb of any human beings, and she just walked out of the Chitagnikunda. That is why when we chant, we say Chitagnikunda Sambhuta, because she came out of the Chitagni, the fire itself as consciousness. She took that conscious birth, she assumed that form, and she walked out as a 3-year-old girl. And Swamiji has revealed that this exact location, and then that is how we actually got Kailasa Madurai, which is there, was the exact location, and then we found historical evidences of the same. This Tadadagai grew to be Devi Meenakshi, and she was coronated as her father's successor. King Malay Dwajapandian, his name is referenced even in Mahabharata, when he fought the war. So this whole thing happened after the Mahabharata. And Devi Meenakshi was trained like how a prince would be trained. She gained proficiency in all the 64 Hindu arts and emerged as a valorous queen. And she was duly coronated as the queen of Madurai. She had a huge, powerful army. Swamiji has revealed how she used to train a batch of Rudrakanyas herself, and she had a huge female army with her. And she, right after this coronation was done, Devi Meenakshi traveled in all the cardinal directions. Understand, Swamiji beautifully say, we usually talk about 8 directions, but actually there are 10 directions, including up and down. It's so beautifully described in the scriptures how she traveled all 10 directions, and she went and conquered every single kingdom and conquered the 56 nations of human settlements that were prevalent at that time, and brought them all under a single rule. And she, after finishing all other kingdoms, after bringing everyone under her rule, that she enters the Mahakailasa, where Paramashiva exists. Once she goes there, this is actually a very beautiful story. When she goes, okay, see a question, someone is asking. Someone is asking, why did she have 3 breasts? Actually, when Jnana Vijnana Priya is asking, okay, 3 breasts, why she had is when she's actually coming out of the fire itself, there'll be a cosmic voice that says, don't worry, this 3rd breast will disappear as soon as she meets the one whom she is going to be becoming one with. When she meets her husband, whoever she is going to be marrying, and with whom she is going to experience that oneness, this mysterious 3rd breast will disappear. And she was literally brought up as a prince instead of a princess, like as a prince. And she was trained in all these arts, she was trained in every sciences. So she goes, she conquers every kingdom possible, and finally she reaches Mahakailasa. And once she reaches Mahakailasa, All the Bhuta Ganas there, everyone are getting frightened. They have never seen such a force before. She's Parashakti, come on. She's so powerful. And she goes, conquers everyone. And Nandi, who is the Vahana of Parameshwar, the moment he sees her, he suddenly feels a motherly devotion. He doesn't understand why. Why is he seeing a princess and he's feeling like she's his mother? And but he still goes for a war, and she is Devi Parashakti. She defeats him also. Everyone is defeated there, and they're like not able to that. Nandi runs to Paramashiva and prays, "Oh Prabhu, I don't know what happened. One whole army of Rudrakanyas came, and they all have literally turned down the whole Kailas, the Mahakailas itself. Everything is being destroyed by them. Please save us. Otherwise, they are going to conquer Mahakailas also." Paramashiva says, "Already I'll come." He comes then. The moment he comes, when Devi Meenakshi's eyes meet his eye, her third eye gets awakened, her third breast gets disappeared. And immediately she realizes who she is, how she is not a mere mortal, she is not just a princess, but she is Devi Parashakti herself, who has come in this form of Devi Meenakshi. She realizes her avataric mission and experiences that oneness with Paramashiva. And Paramashiva says, "All right, now you go back to Madurai, and I myself will come. And I myself will come and marry you there, and will establish the whole kingdom of Madurai, will revive the whole civilization back." And she goes, the moment that, she actually realizes how she's standing in front of the divine Paramashiva himself, and which is where like this whole beautiful incident happens. And as soon as she comes back, Paramashiva himself comes back. It's actually, you should listen to this whole narration from Swamiji. It's so beautifully Swamiji narrates this. And once she comes back, Paramashiva will come, and he will come with all the Bhuta Ganas, everyone in such an Aghori form, he'll come. And the people in Madurai civilization understand the Pandyan civilization was one of the most advanced civilizations. They had flying vehicles. They had, like now how we have tabs and iPads, iPhones. They had the technology to use granite slab with Jnananjana. The whole Jnananjana power that we all are manifesting, it is from this kingdom. Devi Meenakshi had established this. Even now, in many places in the Madurai temple, we have evidence of this. And that is what everyone used to use to see beyond time, to communicate with each other and all. It was a very advanced civilization. And in such a the whole kingdom is decorated so beautifully, so grandly, waiting to welcome Paramashiva. Paramashiva comes with all those Bhutaganas, snakes, and skeletons walking. People in that kingdom get so scared. And Meenakshi's mother sees this whole thing and she literally faints. And then Paramashiva says, Devi goes and says, "Prabhu, what is this? Please, for our divine marriage, can you grace us this form? Like, you're coming like this. What will this people of Madurai think of you?" Then he'll say, "Don't worry. And I'll come as the most beautiful, most handsome groom." He'll come as Sundareshwara. Sundareshwara means the most handsome form, the most beautiful, graceful, extremely handsome form of Paramashiva. That is what is Sundareshwara. And he comes in that form. And the whole divine marriage happens. And when the cosmic union happens, the beautiful divine marriage happens, from then on, both Devi Meenakshi, Sundareshwara, Paramashiva start reviving the Madurai kingdom, Pandya kingdom. and they established the Shamala Peetham, Sarvagnya Peetham, which has all these extraordinary enlightenment sciences. And this Pandyan kingdom existed from thousands of years, and in very, very clear recorded history, we have evidence of this kingdom. And from then on, the Shamalapita Sarvagnya Peetham was established. And in Hinduism especially, we have a tradition how the kingdom is always ruled under the guidance of enlightened masters, avatars, incarnations. After Sundareshwara Paramashiva established and revived it back, Devi Meenakshi and Sundareshwara Paramashiva revived it back, various incarnations, enlightened masters happened, including Tirujnana Sambandar. All of them happened as a part of this lineage. And always, the way how the kingdom functioned was, there will be Guru Maha Sannidhanam, who's, listen carefully, who is always considered as above the king. Guru Maha Sannidhanams, their main function was to train the prince and princesses to rule the kingdom, and it is under their rule, under the guidance of the Guru Maha Sannidhanams, the whole kingdom function. Everything in the kingdom, the decisions, the kings used to listen to the Guru Maha Sannidhanams, the pontiffs, and only under their guidance, the whole government functioned. So it was a beautiful establishment, because of which it was one of the best kingdoms that flourished. See, in ancient enlightened Sanatana Hindu civilization, the political temporal rule known as Porulachi could not be separated from the Arasach. See, the Pandya dynasty existed from 3rd to 4th century BCE to the 13th to 14th centuries as a Hindu sovereign state. Understand? We are talking about 14th century. Look at the number of years this has lasted, how many centuries this has lasted. The Hindu sovereign state, the Pandya dynasty, was ruled by the Hindu sovereign papal state. Now, how we have in Vatican, the papal state that rules the Vatican, similar to that, but much more advanced level, we had this structure, and that is why the Shamala Peetham Sarvagnya Peetham was established. And once again, this also dates back to that thousands of years history. And from then on, the unbroken succession of the Shamala Peetham Sarvagnya Peetham was revived by Tirujnana Sambandar, the great incarnation of Paramashiva, who healed the Pandyan king, Pandyan. And throughout history, the kings maintained a reverential guru-disciple relationship. And that guru-disciple relationship, that same lineage, like each of them maintained this with the supreme pontiffs who reigned over that kingdom. And through a line of succession, Swamiji, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshwaran, was coronated as the 293rd sovereign supreme pontiff of Shamala Peetham Sarvagnya Peetham, and he is the pontiff to this day. And not just this, in the ancient civilization, the appointment of Guru Maha Sannidhanam is referred to as Pandya Niyamana, right, or the Pandya coronation procedure. All successors are crowned with a ruling staff, Singur, and a crown given to the right conduct, the right to conduct all the administrative activities, all the administration. It is called as Sakala Nirvagangalayum Vagikkirathu. Not just this is part of our Hindu kingdom's sovereign rule. This was even recognized in the colonial era by the British government. When the British government was there in India, they also recognized the whole Shamalapita Sarvagnapeetham as a state and the Guru Maha Sannidhanam as the head of the state. Are all of us understanding thus far? How many of you are clear so far? The British Empire respected the pontiff of Madurai Adini as the reigning monarch of the Pandya kingdom. See, a regent is the person appointed to govern a state because the monarch is a minor, or if he is absent, or if he is incapacitated. When the 289th pontiff of Madurai, the Madurai Adin Shamalapita Sarvagnapeetham, when he left his body in 1904, his successor was only 11 years old. So, when the British were running the government during the colonial era, when the British government was running at that time, because they recognized how Shamalapita Sarvagnapeetham was actually is actually a sovereign state. They recognize this as a sovereign state. And because of that recognition, they clearly established the Regency Act. So the Regency Act was existing in the British period, the colonial era. How if anyone is a minor or they don't have an heir to the throne, or if they do not have, their person who is to rule is incapacitated, they had this Regency Act. And because in 1904, see the history, understand, started from 11,275 BCE, and even we have the records as recent, even now the records are there, I'm just quoting, we have the existence of the sovereign state in the mother document as well as in this reference to the British Regency Act, where they clearly recognize the Shamalapita Sarvagnapeetham as the sovereign state, and the pontiff who ruled the whole kingdom, understand, it was the supreme pontiff of the Shamalapita Sarvagnapeetham who ruled over the whole kingdom itself. The kings were only acting based on his guidance, but it was the pontiff who ruled the whole kingdom. Because of that, even at that time in 1904, the British government invoked the Regency Act to take the 11-year-old pontiff under their protection. Then in 1905, when the pontiff had turned 12 years old and became major at that time, according to the colonial era, the majority of age was considered as 12 years old. So the moment he turned 12 years old, the kingdom was duly handed over at the hands of that pontiff. Are all of you understanding? Are all of you with me so far? Can I request all of you to post yes in the chat if you're with me so far? Please take a moment and please post in the chat. How many of you are enjoying knowing the history? And enjoying knowing that, like Swamiji is in this lineage and how Swamiji was coronated. Great. Can I request all the participants to please come on camera? We have a lot to even know about this. The history is so grand. And just to know the leelas that had happened. I have not even gone into any single leela. So many leelas have happened there. And Swamiji has revealed many of these leelas directly from the Akashic records itself. So this is very, very, very interesting. Just to even know about it is so interesting. How many of you are enjoying this? Can I request all of you to post in the chat? Come on, please take a moment and post it in the chat. I'm now going to be showing you all that Regency Act which the British had given. And there's actually, you can see here, this is an extract from the Madurai Adinam's history, showing the Regency Act. You all can see it here. So, are all of you seeing this? This is the extract from the Madurai Adinam's history, showing that the British government applied the Regency Act to the 290th Guru Maha Sannidhanam. Swamiji is the 293rd Guru Maha Sannidhanam, and this reference that we are seeing is just 2-3 generations back of the 290th Guru Maha Sannidhanam. And so this was applied. And when the child turned 12, meaning when the pontiff who was appointed at that time, when he became 12, a major as per the British rule, his coronation was performed by the district judge of the government, and the kingdom of Madurai was handed back to the pontiff. Are all of us understanding this? See, why we are actually showing you this, so you understand. Not just this, you can very clearly see how it has been historically maintained that the pontiff, he's not just as a pontiff, but he is the one ruling the kingdom as well. Means this is a sovereign state. Are all of us understanding this? This is a sovereign kingdom, and it is that sovereign state. The person ruling, the pontiff, is not just appointed as a spiritual guidance alone. He is not just there for guiding spiritually alone, but he is there as the main Guru Maha Sannidhanam, even ruling over the kingdom. Are all of us clear till now? And not just this, we even have the functional immunity of the head of state. See, now what we are having today, in many, if you are familiar with the rules, like actually a pontiff is not supposed to be, is having the immunity, a functional immunity. And from many of the things, like I'll actually show you all, how a pontiff has functional immunity. Now, many of the head of the states, presidents, prime ministers, and any king or president or a prime minister who is the head of the state have this functional immunity in their hands. And this is as per like any of the international law also, this is still followed, functional immunity as the head of the state. And this same thing, in 1880, there is a clear reference where the High Court order shows how, like as per under the section 641 of the Code of Civil Procedure, the Shaiva High Governor in Council is pleased to exempt Shaiva Samaya Charya Thiru Jnana Sambandha Pandara Sannadi Avargal, the Shaiva High Priest of Madurai, from personal appearance in the court of the presidency. This shows how the heads of the Shamala Pita Sarvagya Pitams were also recognized as the heads of the state at any point in time. Feel free to ask, and we will be able to help you understand things better in case you have any doubts. So basically, this functional immunity means for any head of the state, they are not required to appear for prosecution, to appear in court or anything. So, and this is a privilege not anyone else can get, but only the head of the state, presidents, prime ministers, kings can get. So this was the same functional immunity that the government order in 1880 had given to the Guru Maha Sannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanyapitam, Madurai at that time, from personal appearance to the courts. You all can see here. There is a Tamil version and the English translation as well. Hope all of you are able to see this. So this was given as sorry, are all of you able to hear me clearly? See, this was given, the immunity was given because the Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pitam was considered as the papal state. It was these